In question 22, we have to divide 645 by 43. So let's write it out here. So we've got a bit more room. 645 divided by 43. So our first question is, how many 43s are there in 6? So I can't get a 43 from a 6, so the answer is 0. Now this 6 gets carried over to the 4 and that becomes 64. So how many 43s are there in 64? So I can see straight away that there's only one, because if I add 43, so let's do this here, 43, add 43, 3 add 3 is 6, and 4 add 4 is 8. And that's 86, and that's more than 64. How many 43s are there in 64? There's 1. Now the question is, what's the remainder? What I'll have to do is a column subtraction. So what I do is I do 64 take away 43 to see what I've got left. 4 take away 3 is 1. 6 take away 4 is 2. So my remainder is 21. So I carry the 21 over onto the next column there. So how many 43s are there in 215? Now with this, you'll see some teachers use some number facts. So I know 1 times 43 is 43. And I know 10 times 43 is 430. So that's too small, that's too big. I've only got 215. So let me do a sensible thing and let me try to work out 5 times 43. I can do it two ways. I can either halve this or divide it by 2, or I can do 43 times 5 as a column multiplication. And what I'll do this time, I'll do 43 times 5. So 5 times 3, I'm going to do that first, is 15. I put the 5 here and I carry the 1 over to the next column. Now I have to do 5 times 4. So I have to do this calculation. So 5 times 4, I know is 20 because I know my 5 times tables. And now I need to add this one, which I've carried over. So 20 plus 1 is 21. I put the 1 down and I carry the 2 over into the next column. I can write it straight down because I've finished. I've got nothing else to do up there. So 43 times 5 is 215. And that's good news because that's the number I was looking for. So 215 divided by 43 is 5. That's excellent. That's much easier. So my answer is 15. Because I know I can ignore this leading 0. Now we can attempt it using long division. So let me rub all this out. So let me write this out here. 645 divided by 43. So how many 43s are there in 6? 0. Now watch this step. 43 times 0 is 0. Now that's where I've got to. Now I simply subtract these two. I do a simple subtraction. So 6 take away 0 is 6. And now I have to bring this 4 down. So now I've got 64 here. Now my next question is, how many 43s have I got in 64? And we did that earlier and we got 1. So I'm going to write that 1 here. Now again, carefully, I have to do 43 times this 1. And 43 times 1 is 43. And as before, I simply subtract these two. 4 take away 3 is 1. 6 take away 4 is 2. So that's 21. Now I bring this 5 down. So now I have 215. How many 43s are there in 215? And we did that earlier, and we said there was 5. So I'm going to write that 5 here. Now careful with this. It's 43 times 5, and we know 43 times 5 is 215. So I'm going to write that here. And as before, we simply subtract the two. So 215 take away 215 is 0. And that's our remainder. And as before, our answer is 0, 1, 5. We can ignore the leading zeros, so our answer is 15.